Hello children, in the previous class we have studied about the starting of the covalent bond and the general introduction of carbon compounds. Now in today's class we will study about the types of covalent bonds. So let us have a recap. What is a covalent bond? A covalent bond is a bond which is formed between the two atoms by mutual sharing of valence electron between these two atoms in order to obtain a stable noble gas configuration. So in place of the ionic bond, there is a new concept that is a covalent bond, which is actually the mutual sharing. And the number of the electrons which are contributed by each atom is known as covalency. So this is the very important define of the covalent bond. Now we come to the topic types of covalent bond. So types of covalent bond depends on the number of the electrons shared. If each atom contribute one electron, then it is known as a single covalent bond. If each atom contribute two electrons, then it is known as a double covalent bond. And if each atom contributes the three electrons, then it is known as a triple covalent bond. So there are three types of bond: single covalent bond, a double bond, and a triple bond, and they are represented by using a horizontal line. Single covalent bond by a single horizontal line, double by using two, and triple by using the three horizontal lines. Let us take few examples of each of these categories. Example of single covalent bond. So first is a very simple molecule, that is the hydrogen molecule. In case of hydrogen molecule, each hydrogen atom has one electron in the K shell. And in order to become stable, hydrogen has two paths. Either it would gain one electron, that is the ionic character, or it would share one electron with the other atom, which also needs one electron to complete the duplet or octet. So two hydrogen atom, in case of hydrogen molecule, two hydrogen atoms share one electron each to form a molecule of hydrogen. So hydrogen in its K shell, hydrogen has K shell, and in the K shell, it is having one electron. So one of the hydrogen keep its one electron, the other also keep its one electron. We have shown it with the help of a dot. And both of these keep these electrons in the center, and that pair of electron is shared in both the categories. So H is sharing one electron, the other H is sharing also one electron. So this is given the name shared pair or the bond pair. So hydrogen gets the pair in between. Hydrogen molecule is shown with the help of a single bond or a pair in between the two hydrogen atoms. Let us come to another example of Cl2. In case of Cl, the configuration is represented as KLM 2, 8, and 7. So Cl is having the 7 valence electron, and it needs only one electron to complete the octet. In case of covalent bond, it has the option to keep one electron at the center. The other Cl also keep its one electron, and both of them share the electron pair in between the two. So again, a single pair is there in between the two, or one electron is contributed by both of the Cl. So a single covalent bond is formed. The electron pair that is shared is known as a shared pair or bond pair, in which one of the electron is from both of the Cl. So a very important note point here is 3 pair of electron on each Cl atom, which are not involved in the formation. Now you can very well see that there are the 3 electron pairs on each chlorine atom, which are not taking part in the bond formation. So these are known as the lone pair. Remember this word. Those pair of electron which are not participating in the bond formation or sharing are known as the lone pair or the unshared electron pair, while those which are taking part are known as the shared pair. So we have done 2 examples till now. One is the hydrogen, in which the 1 electron is shared, and the case of the Cl2 molecule, again there is sharing of 1 electron by each of the Cl. So let us come with one more example of ammonia. Ammonia is having the formula NH3. Okay, in this case, there are 2 different types of atoms. So when we talk about nitrogen, nitrogen is 7. The configuration is K, L. 2, 5. Now each nitrogen atom needs 3 electrons to complete the octet. But the one with which it is bonding is hydrogen, which is having 1 electron, and it needs 1 electron to complete its octet. So what happened in this case? Nitrogen is having the 5 electrons. So we have shown it like this, the valence electron. Now on the 3 sides comes the hydrogen. Hydrogen needs 1 electron. So on one side I kept hydrogen, on the other side hydrogen, and on the third side also hydrogen, because hydrogen needs 1 electron and nitrogen needs 3. So actually what we did, we put 3 hydrogen atom on the 3 sides so that the L shell gets the total overall electron counting is 8. The octet gets completed. So now you can see that the hydrogen duplet completed from the 3 sides. And now we will count in case of the nitrogen also. Nitrogen is shared in 3 sides with the hydrogen atom. So we can see that in the circle part, that is the shell part of the nitrogen, there are total 3 hydrogen atoms sharing. Now, if we count the number of electrons in the nitrogen part, it is 8. And in case of each hydrogen, it is 1 pair each, which is shared. 1 electron by each atom, and now it is a shared pair. So now we can represent it is N, a pair on it, and on the 3 side, it is having H. It is a simple bond representation for NH3. So what we conclude here, there is 1 electron pair which is not shared, and this 1 electron pair is known as the lone pair. And there are the 3 electron pairs which are considered as the bond pair. So there are 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair. 1 lone pair because this pair is not participating in the bond formation. So this is considered as the lone pair. So in case of nitrogen, the nitrogen is trivalent in nature. We can see that it is forming the 3 covalent bond. So nitrogen is considered as trivalent in nature. Let us do one more example of methane. The formula for methane is CH4. So it is one more very important example, that is methane. Methane, the formula is CH4. So first of all, write the configuration of both the elements. Carbon 6 with the configuration 2, 4, that is KNL. And it needs 4 electrons to complete the octet. We have studied that carbon cannot form C plus 4, neither it can become cation, nor it can become C4 negative, that is the anion. So carbon undergoes the sharing part. The 4 electrons are represented like this. The 4 valence electron. Now comes the turn of hydrogen. Hydrogen is having 1 electron in the K shell and it needs 1 more electron to complete the duplet. So on the 4 sides comes the hydrogen in this manner. So the hydrogen is completing its duplet also, and the carbon is completing its octet by sharing. So now we can show the sharing by making the circles outside it. Hydrogen is having 2, again the hydrogen is having 2. This hydrogen is also completing the 2, and all the 4 hydrogens are getting the 2 electrons in the shared part. Now what about the carbon? When we draw the circle for the carbon and completing the octet, we find that the 8 electrons are there and the carbon has shared 1 electron on all sides with the hydrogen atom. So what we can conclude from here, what type of valency the carbon is showing? The carbon is showing the tetravalent nature. So it is the example for methane in which the carbon can be seen very easily as tetravalent in nature. And the carbon share 4 valence electron with the 4 different hydrogen atoms. Now in the similar manner, we have to move for the double bond. In case of double bond, the number of electrons which are contributed by each atom is 2. So both of them are sharing the 2 electrons. So we have done the define in the beginning. Now take some examples also. In case of oxygen, there are total 8 electrons and the configuration is 2, 6. So each of oxygen atom require 2 electrons to complete its octet. So we have taken 2 oxygen atom, both require 2 electrons, keeping the 2 electron in the center part. We will show the sharing of 2 electrons by each of the oxygen atom. Now when we will make a particular cloud outside it, a circle outside it to show the sharing part, we find that the oxygen has shared 2 electron and the other oxygen atom has shared 2 electron. So in between the 2 oxygen atom, 2 electron pairs are shared. Total there is 2 electron pair. So we have talked about in the beginning, then when each atom contribute 2 electrons with the other atom, then this bond is known as a double bond. And the electrons which are not shared, as represented by simple dots outside oxygen, which are not shared, are known as a lone pair or unshared electron pair. One more example which is related to O2. I hope this is very clear to you. Now one more example of the double bond. Let us see one more example. This is also a very important example as given in the in-text question. It is CO2. Carbon, which is having the atomic number 6. Again, the configuration of carbon is Kl, that is 2, 4. Let us talk about oxygen. Oxygen is atomic number 8 and the configuration is 2, 6. Now, carbon require 4 electrons to complete the octet and oxygen require 2 electrons. In the overall formula, there are 2 oxygen atoms with the carbon atom. So how we can represent the formation of CO2 molecule? We can draw it like carbon is sharing 2 electrons with one oxygen atom. The carbon is sharing the other 2 electrons with the other oxygen atom. Because by this manner, the oxygen as well as the carbon both will be able to complete the octet. So now you can see that the oxygen is sharing 2 electrons with the 2 electrons of carbon. The other oxygen is also sharing 2 electrons with the 2 electrons of carbon. Now drawing the complete structure for it, in the total circular part of the oxygen, we can count here after the sharing that the oxygen is having 8. Similarly, the other oxygen is having 8. But what about carbon? Whether the carbon has become 8? Yes, we can see that the carbon has shared 2 electrons with oxygen. Similarly, the oxygen is also sharing 2 electrons with carbon. The number of the sharing can be shown here. So the carbon, double bond O, 4 electrons are left outside. Similarly, carbon with double bond O and the 4 electrons on the oxygen. We find that there is formation of 2 double bonds, one with one oxygen atom and the other double bond with the other oxygen atom. So in this way, we can find the structure and the dot representation for CO2. So for double bond, we have done 2 examples. One that is of O2, how the O2 is formed, and the other is for the CO2 molecule. Remember in case of CO2 that the carbon is sharing 2 electrons with both the oxygen atom. Now come the other example of triple bond. In case of triple bond, the atom is sharing 3 electrons with the other atom. So a very simple example again of it is nitrogen because it needs 3 electrons to complete the L shell. So both the nitrogen atoms share 3 electrons with each other. First of all, the representation should be made. 3 electrons of nitrogen atom and the other 3 electrons of other nitrogen atom should be placed at the center. Now, both of them undergo sharing and total both the nitrogen atom will get 8 electrons in their circular path. So both of the nitrogen atoms are sharing the electrons and a triple bond is formed in between the 2 nitrogen atoms. And one of the dot pair is represented on each of these. We know that the nitrogen atom is having a triple bond with the other nitrogen atom to form the nitrogen molecule. Now, a very important thing here, 2 atoms cannot share more than 3 electrons. 2 atoms cannot share more than 3 electron pair because electron-electron repulsion arises between the 2 atoms if more electron pairs are shared. Electron-electron repulsion between the 4 electrons of one and the 4 electrons of other creates the instability. So two atoms cannot share more than 3 electron pairs, and the electron-electron repulsion between 4 and more shared pair make the molecule unstable. So that is why maximum a triple bond can exist. Molecule unstable in nature. So this is about the triple bond. We have done the types of covalent bond, single bond, double bond, triple bond. There are various other examples of single, double and triple bond. But the main thing to remember, how to complete the octet and the duplet by the sharing. So this is about the types of covalent bond. Now a very important thing that arises is how the ionic compounds and covalent compounds are different from each other. The difference between the ionic and the covalent compound. Now, as we are talking about the comparison of the ionic and covalent compounds, the first very important point is the ionic compounds are formed by the transference of electron from one atom to other. There is a complete transference. But in covalent compound, there is a mutual sharing between the two atoms to attain the noble gas configuration. So in order to attain the stable configuration, there is a mutual sharing. The second very important difference between the two is ionic compounds are generally solid. Cation and anions are there, but the covalent compounds can be solid, liquid or gaseous in nature. For example, chlorine is a gas, chlorine is gas, bromine is liquid, while iodine is solid. Chlorine is gas, it is a covalent. Bromine is liquid, while iodine is also a covalent molecule which is solid in nature. Now the third important point, which is a difference in between the two properties, are the melting point and boiling point of ionic compounds is very high. Why it is very high? Because there is a strong force of attraction between the positive and negative ions. Very strong electrostatic force of attraction between the positive and negative ions. But in case of covalent bond, the melting point and boiling points are very low because weak van der Waal, weak intermolecular forces are there. In case of covalent, there is weak intermolecular. We can write it here as weak intermolecular forces are there. But in case of ionic compound, there are strong electrostatic, that is in between the ions, electrostatic force of attraction is there. That is why ionic compounds are very high melting point and boiling point, but the covalent are having the less. Now one more point. The ionic compound do not conduct electricity in solid state. Because for conduction of electricity, there should be the migration of electrons or the ions. But in case of ionic compound, when it is solid, there is no migration. But when it is converted into a liquid state or the molten, that is the aqueous state, we can write liquid aqueous state, that is it is dissolved in water. In the aqueous state or in the molten state, we can say that it is a good conductor because the migration of ions takes place. So the ionic compounds become good conductor of electricity in the aqueous or in the molten state. But what about the covalent compounds? They are the bad conductor of electricity because there is no migration of ions. Now the last one, the ionic compounds are polar in nature. So they are soluble in the polar solvents such as water. Like dissolved like phenomena is there. Ionic compounds are themselves polar, so they are dissolved easily in the polar solvent, that is water. But what about the covalent compounds? The covalent compounds being non-polar are generally insoluble. They are generally insoluble. Usually we find that they are insoluble in the polar solvents such as water, but they are soluble. They are soluble in non-polar solvents such as alcohol, benzene, etc. They are soluble in non-polar solvent such as alcohol, benzene, etc. So in the today's session, we have done the covalent compounds, their types, single, double, triple bond, and a very important, the difference between the ionic and covalent compound properties. So in the next video, we will be meeting with versatile nature, saturated, unsaturated compounds, dealing with the carbon compounds lesson. Till then, revise. Have a nice day.